Good afternoon, friends. How are you doing today? We are in an event today for the Day of Lights with Sacred Treasure House. So we've been doing that since late morning, and so now it's my turn. And I am going to show you a different thing. It's a little bit different for me, but I hope you enjoy it. I kind of sent out a sneak peek of what we were going to be using. So still, I'm using paper. I'm a paper crafter. Usually that's what I do. And so today we're still using paper. But this time we're going to put something on a glass bottle. So I hope you enjoy that. We'll see how that goes. Hey, Tanya, how are you? So let me just real quickly add our next presenter here real quickly. I hate to do this. Nobody likes sitting around watching all this, but while we are trying to get her tagged in here so that it's easy for everyone to get to the next presenter, I just want to let you know that today I'm using a different camera for my forward-facing camera. I wanted to see how that worked, and it keeps kind of going in and out with the color changes, so I don't know why it's doing that. We'll see how that works. I wanted to see if that was worth doing, but let me see if I can get her pinned in here with a comment. And it's hard to see here. Okay, but it's always good for making it easy for the next person, right? We want everybody to be able to there we go. She's popped up there. And I should be able to pin her in there. There we go. Okay, I got it. So now, great. And today I am streaming again in both Facebook and on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So if you see me talking to people who you don't have any idea why I'm talking to those people, that's probably because they were in the other location. So we've got Charity here, Kim, Tanya's here, Lisa, Jen. Hello everybody, so glad you're here with us today. So like I said, we're gonna do something a little bit different today. I'm gonna make, it's gonna be a home decor item, and I think it'll be fun because my particular version is gonna go well for several things through the summer. So I think it's always fun to have something. I love little bits and pieces of things that you can put out to kind of dress up your home seasonally without spending a lot of time or taking up a lot of space. Now this is probably going to be a little bit, this will take a little bit more space than what I usually have for some of those kinds of decor items. But we're going to go with it. Hello, Deborah. So I'm going to put you down here to my workspace. Let me get that out, get my keyboard out of the way. All right, and this is what we're going to work on today. Oh no, you guys, I forgot to turn that camera on. Oh my goodness. Okay, I blew it. Okay, just a second here. And I've got an iPhone, and I have a special app, and I don't know if they make it for Android phones too, but I have an app, and it's called Shoot, and it's just like it sounds, and it makes it so easy to use for if you are doing anything like this. You don't have to spend a bunch of time switching your camera view around or anything, and you can just look at it. But I do have it down facing, like as if I had my camera up and I was just going to take a picture out somewhere. But it makes it so easy. Hello, Deborah, and Lydia's here. All right, well, that threw me for a loop. Hang on just a second. Now I gotta try and get that there we go. Okay, let me just kind of straighten it up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, got it. Let me turn off my phone here. Anybody that needs me, they know they can reach me in a few minutes, so that's not any big deal. This is what I'm going to do. Look at this big bottle. Let me zoom back out a little bit so we got more space. Oops, that's the wrong one. Boy, I tell you. There we go. I'm getting it. I'm making it happen. Slowly but surely. Okay, got it. So we're going to use some Mod Podge. We're going to put a napkin on this, and that's what we're going to start with. This was a big bottle I found. It's pretty good size. And so I took the labels off of it, and it's going to be a little bit challenging because I want to cover it all. I'm going to put some lights in there. I've got these fun little fairy lights like you can find. And these are the kind that would go in a wine bottle. And so here's the cork that would fit a wine bottle. So it was going to be too small. You can see how big this stopper is. And so I already just hot glued it onto the stopper. So that would be, you know, easy. Now, I will tell you that what I have found, I've done a couple of, I've been removing some labels on glass bottles over the last week, and I found one thing that works really well is to take your heat tool and just heat it up. Now this label was really big and around, so it took me several times to do it, but hold your heat tool, you know, and just let it heat up all in about, oh, I'd say, you know, about a 2 or 3 inch square, and just get it pretty warm, and then start to peel it. Use a knife or something so you can try to get as much off at once, you know, with the sticky part, and then just peel it gently off. And then you can feel when it's gonna get to the part where it's not as loosened up. I used to use hot water and try to do that, but my goodness, you use so much water when you're doing something like that, and it doesn't stay hot very long anyway. So I decided to try that, and it works great. Once you get your label off, for any of the rest of the sticky residue that you have, you can use WD-40. And I don't know if you knew that or not, but WD-40 or any of the knockoffs of that, just spray it on and rub it on and let it set a minute. And a paper towel works pretty good to remove it all because it has just enough texture for you to, you know, to do that. So, okay, my dilemma today is going to be, now I want to cover the whole bottle. Since we're going to put lights inside, I want the whole bottle to be covered. And so let's take our napkin apart here. This is just a 2-ply napkin. And I think what I'm going to start doing at first is I think I'm going to start by doing some around the neck of the bottle. Oh my goodness. I might have to work without my fan on. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of not having a fan. Okay, so, but we'll make it happen. All right. Goo gone, but who doesn't already have some WD-40 around? I mean, and I don't know how much of that, you know, it works either. Hand sanitizer can, I don't know, it works. I don't think it works as easily as like WD-40. And I don't even have WD-40. I was at Walmart one time, and when I saw how much it was, they told me how, you know, what the knockoff version was that they had, and I just bought that, and it works just fine. So we are going to go ahead and get started, and I think what I'll do to start with is just this little part up here. It's fairly flat and straight, and I think I'll work on that and cut some of that first off. It looks like it's about, I'd say it's about 2 inches before it really starts to curve out. So this is probably going to be a learning experience for all of us, you guys. And I usually bring you things I've already done. Now I have decoupage things onto a glass bottle before, so that's not going to be the part that's new to me at all. I've done that before. Let me see if we can get this to tear a little bit. And if we have our little edges that are not super straight, the things that we put over them will be, this isn't tearing against the ruler, can you tell? That's very interesting. Let me hold it up. It would have been better to run my little water pin across it. Okay. Well, that's okay. We'll start with that, you guys. see where that takes us. And we may be doing a little bit of overlapping. I'm not sure. This one I'm going to cut or I'm just going to tear this across here. And even if we overlap it a little bit, I think it's going to be fine. How many of you have done some kind of decoupage like this onto a glass surface? We're always doing lots of kinds of surfaces. How many have you done on a glass surface, you guys? Okay, now I like to put, and I'm just using Mod Podge, I like to put it into another container so it doesn't get so dried out as I'm working. I'm just going to put this on and we'll get going here. Oh my goodness, I've already blabbed. And for those of you who haven't seen any of our other presentations today, we have given each one of our presenters 45 minutes to work on their project, which is a nice amount of time. So I'm just gonna tap that on, just gonna wrap it around the little neck of the bottle here and put it down here. And then I'm just going to put this over the top, since I should have torn both sides, you guys. That would have looked better. And I think I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And I'm thinking for some of the rest of it to come down on the curve of the bottle, I might just tear some pieces. Because then they're all going to have a little bit of, and it's not going to matter. I mean, I think it'll be fine. Even if some of it is a little bit overlapped and it's a little bit thicker than some of the other places, I think it'll be fine. I mean, it is a handmade project after all, right? But yeah, how many? Hello, Teresa. Welcome. And Shirley, hello there. Doodle Designs, Doodle Denise Designs. Okay. Welcome everybody. We're just using this glass jar and we're gonna put this on. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna wait until I get all of this down first before I go back and put the Mod Podge on the rest of it. I think it'll just be easier for me. And then I think I'm just gonna bring it down a little bit now for the, I don't know if I can work that fast. Maybe that was not a good idea. But I'm gonna have to go down, let's say right along there is kind of where that curve ends. So for the main part of our napkin with the design on it, that, I'm gonna stand this up, you guys. I know that's not probably the easiest for you to see. And then I'm just gonna tear these and pat it on. And I think that's probably gonna be the easiest way to get some of this on. And if it's not, you'll know. You'll know if you do something like this. Don't do it like she did. You know that Christy from My Artful Adventures, don't do it like that. She had a catastrophe. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just pull some other pieces off of here. But I think this is, oops, I didn't get that one down there. Even if it kind of, there's a little piece that didn't even get covered. We'll get that on there. Oops. Oh my goodness. You got to be careful once it gets on there. I have to tap a little bit on here. Once it gets on there, then the napkin is so thin, it starts to kind of disintegrate. So make sure you've got some on the back to get it down there. Okay. And this one, see how this is sticking out? That did not have much on there underneath. So I'm just going to tap a little on there. so we can just pat it on. Man, this is the most fiddly thing I've done in a while. And yeah, that other, that glue that I've wiped on down here, it's already starting to dry. It's doing nothing for that. Okay, but we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen, you guys. And then get those little lights in there. They're gonna be so cute in there. I love those little lights. I actually bought a whole box of them. I had the grand idea to do something with them, and then that never happened. And so I had a box, and I had colored ones and the little white ones. And I went to get my little box of those. And do you think I could find where the box of those is? Nope, I couldn't do it. I couldn't find it at all. Hey, Melanie. Okay. Couldn't find it at all. Don't know where. I looked all over where I thought, and we were talking, somebody else was talking about that this morning. And yeah, we take those things and we put it in those safe places. And I think the only person that it's safe from is us. It's safe from us. But I'm sure I'll find it. I'll find it someday when I'm, not looking to use it right away. And that's okay. Okay, so we're just going to continue. I kind of feel like I'm doing paper mache, you guys. Kind of have that feel. And I'm just going to rip this along here. I think it's going to be cute when it gets done, though. That's always the part that we're eager to know, right? Is the way that it's going to turn out. And we love seeing it happen. So, yeah, some of those I don't think had enough underneath. And it might just kind of stick up a little bit when I'm done, but it'll be fine. It's just going to sit somewhere, right? Oh, Lydia says she can't find her iPad. She thinks it's buried under her craft mess. What? You have a craft mess? I can't imagine anyone with a craft mess. Whoops. Let's see. Let's put this on here a little bit. In a different spot so we can cover some of that. Okay. Oh my goodness. This seems tedious and boring to watch, and I'm so sorry. I didn't think about having to watch somebody do all of this. But that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to watch each other do crafting. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate it. Thank you so much to Tanya and Deborah and Lisa for creating this group and having us in these fun events that we have. We've had some really fun themes, I tell you. Makes it really a lot of fun to participate. Now I think I'm going to have a little bit more down here. I don't think it's going to cover with the main part of the napkin right there. Okay. Okay. Look around, maybe a little bit more on this. I love these other little pieces I've got I've got several little thin strips here, and that's just what I need right now. Just to bring it down just past the curve of the bottle. I really had thought about doing this curved part a different way, and I was thinking about doing it more like when you're sewing and you have a curve to go on, you've got to cut out some pieces, or you kind of you cut into your item so that it has a little bit of give. Like, I'll show you what I mean. Like if you were sewing or something and you needed to have something to curve, you would trim along like this. You just take these little pieces like this. And I thought about ripping them. And then as you go around a curve, they can overlap of each other if it needs to curve that way. If it needs to curve the other way, it'll let it separate a little bit. And so that's a real common thing to do when you're sewing and you need your fabric to go around a curve. But I just decided this was probably going to be the easiest way to do this. Okay, so we got that part done. I think most of those are glued down. Might be a little part there. And as it kind of dries a little bit, oh, here's a part. This doesn't look like it got some underneath. I'm afraid to lift some of them up because I'm afraid they will tear. There, I think I got that one. And if there's any that are kind of standing up, then after we're done and after that dries a little bit, then I think it'll be much easier to go in and get that. Okay. Now on this, oh shoot, I am going to, I want this to be on the front. So I'm going to, let's see here. Let's use the water pen. Let's not put this on. Let's do what's going to work out to be the back section first. And I'm going to just use my little water brush. Actually, let's now, my goodness, there was a wet place. You can see how easily that breaks apart. So let's just go ahead and I'm going to do a big section here. I'm just going to do the whole rest of this all the way across, and then it doesn't matter how much I need for to get around the bottle. I'll be able to get it across around the back side. And while I've got my little water brush out that just fell, oh, luckily it just fell in my lap. Let me measure this again here. I think I'm just going to put it most of the way down. Maybe I'll just do all of that, and as I come around the bottom, we'll kind of work on that like I was talking about, except I'm going to go ahead and kind of take off these edges so that we have something more uneven to work with if it goes all the way around. Oh my goodness. These projects seem so simple, you know, when you think about them, right? Lydia, that napkin, isn't that cute? I thought that would be fun for Memorial Day or for the 4th of July, either one. I'm going to take this here and kind of, man, that ruler's so long, it's in my way. Okay. That does not hold tight down there. I'm really surprised. That is not a benefit. Let me just pull it off with my nail real quick. Just pull it. Yeah, anyway, the napkin I got in like a napkin swap. We were at an event, and that was something that everybody did, or a lot of people anyway, brought napkins to swap. And it was so fun. I mean, there is such a variety of napkins. There's a place that I like to go in Denver. It's called the Polish Pottery Factory, and they bring in Polish pottery, and it is the most, I just love it. It's, you know, all of it is hand painted, and it's just such a delight to look at handcrafted items like that. And they sometimes carry napkins, and oh my goodness, their napkins are just beautiful. And I had bought some, they'd had them on sale one time, and that was what I had taken to that swap, and they were so pretty. Everybody loved the ones that I took. A lot of times they'll have like a little, that thing just keeps getting wet. A lot of times they will have little seams on them. And you know, it's fun to do a napkin swap like that, because if you don't do something like that and you just have napkins, like if you buy a whole pack of napkins, usually you've got 4 of the same design on your napkin. Once you open it up, they've usually put it on there 4 times onto that piece of paper. And so then for each napkin, you've got 4 of the same little design that you can use, right? So that is really, usually once you do it once or twice, it's like, then it's good for gift giving, right? But I don't normally need 4 the same one, 4 the same design. But I do like them. They are some gorgeous things. What's your favorite napkin that you've ever... What kind of a design was on the most favorite design on a napkin that you've seen or used, you guys? I'm interested. Yeah, Jeannie, doesn't that? We should do that. We should have one, you guys. We should make that happen. We always have all these great ideas, and then... You know, you got to make it happen, though. Okay, there we go. Now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of put this on here. Let me pull out one section of this and get this ready to go so I have a better idea of how far around. And I'm going to have to do the same thing on this one. Just going to put it down the center. I tell you what, this piece of paper that the design has been printed on seems a lot sturdier than the white piece, the back ply that we've been working with. And you guys, don't throw away those white, your white backings, because you can always use them for something. You don't always have to use it for the same project that you're working on. But, a lot of times you could maybe just use it to clean up. But, yeah, you don't have to waste them. I don't know, I might have been better off to just use a regular paintbrush and water, Tanya. We'll make it happen, though. There we go. So let's go ahead and let's separate it up here first. And I thought, and one of the reasons I decided to use the white was because I thought it would be nice, it would be easier for the light to shine through the white, and that especially with the blue section here, it would be a nice way to transition from the napkin. Or it's all napkin. It's all napkin. We've used nothing but the napkin. All napkin, nothing but the napkin. It's like, we tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? We're going to use the whole napkin, nothing but the napkin. That's not true, though. We're using those little lights. Okay. Okay, let's see. And I have not been paying attention. So florals, sunflowers, and oh, I would love a mermaid napkin. That would be wonderful. In fact, I've got something coming up that I'm going to have something. I'm going to have to use napkins, and I'm going to have to use a mermaid theme. So I don't know if I'm going to try to find a napkin with a mermaid. I don't know what I'm going to do yet for that. And that's something coming up here in our Sacred Treasure House group. And that's going to be a game. It's going to be Craftagories. It is going to be so much fun, you guys. Okay, so if I put this on here, then let me see. I'm going to just put a little bit of Mod Podge along here so I can kind of see where to go. Oh, that was smart. I love it when I come up with a good idea. Okay, this, I might have to stand this. Oh, here, I can put my finger in there. All right, so now we're just gonna start gluing on our white one on the back. I gotta get going. This might be just the right amount of time to get this done today. This is unlike most of the things I normally do, you guys. So it's a little bit different, but fun. I just stuck my fingers in this and took the Mod Podge off. Okay, so let's go ahead and start it around here. And make sure I get the edge into the Mod Podge. Okay, and tap it down. And I'm just going to turn it. Get some more Mod Podge on. What would we do without Mod Podge? I tell you, we're always using it for so much, right? We'd make our own. You can use it with basically some white glue. And I tell you what, if you kind of make your own with some watered down white glue, be sure, if you're going to have to use it very long, be sure to use some distilled water so it'll last longer, you guys. That would be my hint. I don't think you should be using it without distilled water. Okay, I'm just tapping it down over here. It's going pretty good. And no, I did not drink all of this. I tell you what, you know what? Some of the most cool bottles are from perfume and alcohol. Uh-oh. Oh, there's my... I should have measured that off. Okay. Almost to my spot. Good thing I remembered I was supposed to stop. And get this on here. I think I'm kind of going in a downhill mode, and I've got crinkles over here, and that's okay. So now I'm going to take this where I ended, and I'm going to go ahead and use our water brush here so we can rip this off and hope that I got it in a good place for the other napkin. Gonna use my finger to tear. Okay. And maybe bump a little bit back in there. It's not all the way down there. Oh, there. That lifted up really easy that time. Okay. And let's go ahead and cover this part. This is going to be the main design, our pretty part. We're finally to the pretty part, you guys. Did you wonder if we'd ever get there? Okay. And then up after me is T. So be sure and go over there, and we'd love for any of the crafters, if you see anybody on here that you're not following when their name comes up and it says, you know, that you have a chance to follow them, be sure and go check them out. If they seem like your cup of tea, give them a follow. We love making new crafty friends. Okay. I'm going to try and tap this down a little bit. Some of those got to be a little bit, those wrinkles, I'm going to tap them in. This, and I see a little place up here that looks like it didn't get covered. somehow. And, you know, as it dries, you'll be able to see places like that and then go back and add a touch on if you need to, right? And just tap it on. There's another place up there, so I got that same little piece. And once it's dry, it's easier for you to get your you know, another piece on, because then it's not gonna stick to you and come off, and it'll just be easier. I don't know what's going on in there. I heard that big dog barking. He's got a problem evidently. I was so glad my daughter got home picking up the grand girl, and I said, well, I was glad they got back just in time before I started, so we didn't have to, because all the dogs go crazy when somebody gets home. They're just crazy. Okay, so I'm just gonna eyeball it here. Well, that looks good. Okay. This is, you know what, it makes it, when I talk to you about, you know, patting it around the curve, I didn't even have to do that. That went around that curve really easy. And I think it's down low enough. I don't think that it is gonna look like it needed something else at the bottom. I think it's down there far enough. I'll just tap that on there. And this, I think I'll just begin to pull off some of this while it's here. And it's already still damp. Whoop, look, I got this one turned up. Oh my goodness, what happened there? Oh, and it's right at the edge of the center of attraction. Okay. Let's see if we can lift that up a tiny bit and get something on there before that's completely dry and unmanageable. You know, I'm just going to see if I can. That's such a glob. I'm just going to pull that off. There we go. Ew. I just got that everywhere. Okay. Put this on. You guys, I'm so sorry. This is so tedious. I haven't really been following your comments, and I apologize. Hey, Susan. Yes, the craft decor game. That's going to be so fun. I don't know which one of you ladies dreamed that up, but I tell you what, you guys are fun. You are a whole lot of fun. Okay. And I'm just going to take this off a little bit here, just so it lines up with the other napkin. Okay, and you could, and I thought about doing this, I thought about painting part of it that, you know, did not have napkin on it, but I don't know. I think this is low enough, like when this is going to be down, like if I set this on something, I would have to be looking really low to see the bottom of that, I think. So I think that's going to work. And now I'm just going to start putting on some, well, this looks like another place. I can't figure out why it looks like I missed so many places up here. I guess, like I said, you can, once it gets dry, you can see a lot more of what's going on. So let's tap that on. Or maybe they just moved. Who knows? Let's get another piece here. Yeah, I do. This feels like paper mache, you guys. I feel like I'm doing paper mache. I kind of am, I guess, when you think about it. I'm just using a bottle. But we're not going to have, it's going to have glass underneath it though, so that's a little bit different. A little different. And just tap that on. Okay. And I'd hope that was going to be all dry so I could give it another coat. I tell you what, I think some of it has really dried real sheer. Some of this napkin, like that we started, the white, it dried very sheer. I'll tell you something else that you can use too, is just plain tissue paper. I have actually printed on tissue paper out of my inkjet printer and done something similar like this, and it worked fine. I don't know, I think a lot of this still needs to dry a little bit more, because as I brush stuff on, it feels like some of it is coming up, and we don't want that to happen. But let's go ahead okay, there. And usually when I do this, I usually use a cheap chip brush and just, you know, tap it on like this. And then on the top, this doesn't have enough glue under that edge. There's a lot of edges here, you guys. This has been a lot of edges and everything to put together. Yep, it doesn't feel like there's glue under that part either. So just a lot of fiddling around here to finish up. So for something that seems to be relatively simple and easy, it is, but it just takes a little bit of time. And that's the way so many of these kinds of projects are. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put this brush in some water for now so it doesn't get sticky. I like to keep a little bit of water at my workspace. I'll just put it in something with a lid to start with so I don't mess it up. And if you haven't heard me say before, I like to keep I put some Mod Podge in something like this to stay, and then I use a piece of Crescent Seal on here because it also gives it another layer of, you know, that it's sealed. And I never have any trouble, and it's gonna pull up and I can see where it's got Mod Podge stuck on there and it'll come off. But look how easy my lid came off. So that works out great. Hello, Denise. Okay, Kim says having the decorative bottles is a marketing strategy. If they look pretty, you might be more on top that. Not even the discussion we had. Yeah, right. Let you be in your zone, let you know, don't bother you. Yeah, right. Okay. So let's put this in. We just have another couple minutes. We got enough time to get our lights in here and kind of see how this is going to look. And just be careful when you usually, okay, you can tell. Oh, so I never did find my box full, but thankfully I had a bottle that I had taken one out and stuck it in. So at least I had one I could use. I was so thankful that instead of panicking, I realized I did have one that I could take out to show you guys. So we'll get this all wound in here. This bottle is pretty big. I probably could, once I find my other ones. Oh, I was going to say I could probably drop another one in, but it wouldn't be handy. I would have just dropped it in the other direction. But you can't do that. Never turn it off and on. So we'll just turn this on. I'm going to stick that in. Maybe I'll pull this up a little bit. All right. Let me turn these off and see if you can see it a little bit better. We'll see if it gives you an idea how it's going to look. Ah! I'm getting it squeezed in there. So then, I mean, it's hard to see. Let me turn this one off. Let me see if we can do that. So just here's our little lights. it doesn't shine too bright through this one, unfortunately. There we go. It's a little bit brighter. Look at that. It's kind of fun. I maybe could mess around and arrange them in there so that it looked, you know, it had a little bit more light up this direction. But that's fun. And I loved making that with you today. Let me change this back here. So I'll just go ahead and put another layer on there and it'll be all finished. And so that is it for today. So let's head over to T and see what she's got going on. Oh, there's Amy Jo. Well, thanks for joining us. I don't know if you had been on very long, but I appreciate all of you so very much. So thank you so much for stopping by, and let's go watch T. Thanks, Shirley.